Welcome one, welcome all to episode 37 of season 2 of Fab Life with Lauren and Lee. We are going to move on to a zoom-in shot of me right now if you're watching on YouTube because, yes, I have a gash on my face, which has never happened before.
We'd never thought that would happen ever.
I've never been with a woman. I'm organic. So no gash on my face, but I have a huge gash. So let's get the elephant out the room.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you try and hug Janet Street Porter. No.
This is what really happens when you work at Loose Women, you know.
Yeah. I just thought I'm going to go, oh God, it looks so bad. I just thought we'd do that zoom in shot there and say, so we need to get that out of the way. But firstly, what I will say is welcome. Welcome. How are you, Lauren? How are you?
Great. Much better than you're doing.
Can I just say, we just was about to start the podcast and Lauren noticed she had a wisp of hair sticking up. And she was, oh gosh, oh God. And I'm sat there looking at her, just readjusting herself for the camera. And then I said to her, sorry, Lauren, have you seen my face?
You've got wisps, haven't you? Show us your wisps.
I've got stitch wisps. You probably can't see them, but he's basically stitched up I had a massive cut above my eye. If you're listening, I'm going to explain it. You might have seen it on socials or in the Daily Express, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
He went, I'm leaving the stitches quite long because they're easier to take out. And I was like, okay, great. Didn't realise I was going to look like one of those old men that have just given up.
Their eyebrows wispy.
You know what I mean? That they're just like, and they're so long. They look so wispy.
But, I mean, you're fine. It's very manly, isn't it? It's very like, I play rugby.
Yes.
Do you find that? I don't know. You don't? You quite suit it.
Do I?
Also, what's the crack? Did you actually break your nose?
Well, he thinks I broke my nose, the doctor, but then I saw TV's Dr. Amir
Clang.
around Television Centre on Monday.
Oh, was he just mooching about and you were like, doctor?
No, I wasn't. While you're here.
Yeah, come to my dressing room.
I don't get a dressing room. No. No, we were doing an episode of Loose Men. And Dr. Amir
was on it.
Was doing a testicle examination of Jake Quickenden. It just gets weirder and weirder, doesn't it?
Did he get his balls out on the telly?
Just one of them, yeah.
Just a solo ball.
Yeah, I know. They really ought to be seen together to make sense, don't they? You know, testicles.
Especially on morning telly.
It always reminds me of 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown because I think, I can't remember who it was who says the ladies be seen together and Alan Carr goes, they're my balls, not Richard and Judy. But anyway, so he saw me and I was talking to Jake about it because Jake had seen on my Instagram that I'd like
you'd had a fall, yeah.
And he's like, mate, what happened? And I was like, oh God. And then Dr. Amir came up and he said, oh, do you mind if I have a feel? I said, I'm taking out for dinner first, darling. No.
And then you were like, oh, my face. Shush.
Yeah. And he felt it and he said he's not sure it's broken. So I'm hoping it's not. The doctor
I don't think
originally
it looks
said
like
it's
bent or anything.
Well, he said it's slightly deviated, but I wonder whether it's always been a little bit like that.
Always been a bit devious like yourself.
I'm a deviant. But yeah, so...
Well, there you bloody go.
It was a horrific time. We'll get into the full story in a bit. But we've had a week off.
We've had a week off, and the numbers were still great. I don't know what's happened recently, but hello to new Fab
We need to stop being so surprised when we know that people enjoy it. We have a new producer today, Tashi.
Oh my God, Tashi!
Round of applause for Tashi.
Woo! Welcome.
Thank you.
And Tashi was just kind enough to say that she'd listened to the podcast.
I know.
And she enjoys it. And we were like, no, shut up,
Get out.
don't. We were like, surely not. You can't listen to our drivel, absolute drivel every week.
Don't listen to this episode again, whatever you do, Tasha. You know, like, wait for next time. Don't listen to it again. Don't put yourself through that.
Please do. We need the numbers. No. Yeah, we had a surge in numbers. We had a double of numbers the week before. We got like a weird surge.
Yeah. And also I've noticed, you know, keep messaging us on the old YouTube and Insta. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? I'm tired. Because you've been just like making me laugh out loud. Mainly, everyone rips the shit out of Lee. That's what they're in the DMs for.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to retake over this Instagram thing. Do people think this is a safe space to just take the piss out of me? Because I don't ever go on it.
They're always just in there on the story. They're like, oh my God, I thought of you two when that happened. Or like, lol, saw this person drunk on a meme and thought of you two. Everyone is like creasing me up at the moment. So get in there. Treat yourself up.
Slide into our DMs.
Slide into them DMs because it's making me howl at the minute. It's really good.
But yeah, so I was away last week for my granddad's funeral.
Yes.
First proper funeral I'd ever been to, you know.
No, you're joking.
Well, I'd only ever been to one, and that was I stood outside because it was kind of still COVID times.
I went to one of them. It was very, very weird. It's even more emotional because you're like, I don't know what to do and I can't help.
Yeah, but I think I'm, getting to the tender age of 32.
So tender.
With only just going to a funeral is quite good going.
That's
really.
Good going.
Yeah.
And it was a nice sunny day because it had been a bit horrible.
It was a lovely day.
Good.
It was a lovely send off. That's what we kept saying to people because you don't really know what to say. So I walked.
It's nice,
in,
when you've got that to talk about because you can be like, look, the sun's shining for
Well, I walked in and everyone was there, and then obviously there was a kind of somber mood. But I walked in like when you see people that you haven't seen for a while, and you automatically are like, oh hey,
like a bit laughing,
and then everyone was like, hey. And then I was like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I do that. And also you're a bit nervous because you know it's sad. So you automatically like, yeah.
Yeah, but the celebrant did a lovely poem.
That's nice.
And a lovely he did his own eulogy. Not like, he'd written his own eulogy. So that was quite nice. So we got to hear those words, and then
Did you have like a little buffet after?
We did. We had a wake. Nice. And sat and drank the night away. So
see, that's also
nice.
like the best part of a funeral. Obviously, I mean, funerals are sad, but like everyone comes together and you share stories of all the times when you were kids, stories. When your cousins, and you're like, do you remember that time that you did this? Ha ha ha.
Although it was quite funny because I sat like looking at my sisters and then like my cousins and their partners, and I was like kind of tolling them all up, and I was like, oh, I'm the only single one in the extended family. Like I'm the only one with no partner.
But think about the inheritance. You know, you don't have to divide it with anyone else.
Okay.
It's all for you, Lee.
I wasn't thinking about that at the wake of my grandfather's funeral.
It's just like in a few weeks when it's settled in.
No, because if I think about the inheritance, I'm like, does that mean it gets divided with the partners as well? No.
Oh, better not.
No.
Or when people have kids, they better be getting the same as me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I should have like a single tax.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. Oh my God.
Anyway,
write that down.
So yeah, we're sorry that we couldn't make it work. We tried.
We tried.
Not
and we tried
that
to do
hard.
it live as well.
Basically, I forgot that we were like meant to do it virtually, and then it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And then we were meant to do an Instagram live. Lauren completely cocked that up.
I just ballsed it right up. I had it in my head that we'd discussed at times. You know, when you've just got it in your head and you're like, oh shit, it's up to me. I better let everyone know. Better let the Fab Lifers know. Oh my God, hair in my face. 7 p.m. Boom. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I've got a gig. And
I was like, thanks for checking with the person you're meant to do an Instagram live with. I was at the wake and I just get this notification. We're going live tomorrow. Catch us there. Lovely infographic you'd made. You'd gone to all the trouble.
I'd gone on Photoshop.
You'd gone to all the trouble except for checking if I was available.
This is why we need like a full-time assistant so they can just do all this shit.
So on Saturday, I was finally coming home from Manchester because I'd had 13 hours in A&E.
But it's a good job we didn't rebook the live for Saturday night.
Oh, I know. Well, I would have had to cancel.
Yeah.
But I was coming home from Manchester and I was gonna stay in Manchester. My friend Mikey kindly was like, just stay at mine.
Yeah.
But you know,
don't get any blood on my pillow.
No, but you know when like I'd already had such a shit day. I'd had 13 hours in A&E, and I just thought, I'm going to have to make this journey back anyway.
You may as well
be
do
it Sunday or Saturday. And I thought I may as well just make this day worse.
Yeah.
And get home so that on Sunday morning, I don't have to go, let's get a train. And the trains are always horrific on a Sunday.
They're really shit at the moment, especially.
So anyway, I'm going back on the train on Sunday. And this is in relation to you just deciding what time to do the Instagram. I get a text from my friend Yasmin. And she's like, I've sent you something as like a little, sorry you slipped and broke your nose gift. And I was like,
I don't know, they have a card for that.
Yeah, no. Clinton's, no. So she's like, are your flatmates in? It's on its way. And I was like, well, it's a Saturday night. I'll check. But I know Mark's away for the weekend and then my other flatmate, Shay. So I text him. He was like, no, I'm at my boyfriend's.
Wow.
So I was like to Yasmin, no one's in, babes. And she's like, oh. And then she was like, why have I not checked? She was basically like, did what you did. She just decided to do it and then didn't. So anyway, there was this wild goose chase over London.
Did you find it?
Well, no, in the end, we had to redirect it to my friend Maurice's, who lives around the corner, who took it in for us. But,
God, love
I
Maurice.
said, no good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah.
But yeah, that reminded me of her because she just was like, I should have really checked that someone was going to be in the house that the groceries was being. She went, well, someone has to take it. It's got ice cream in. And I was like, it's not my fault. I'm on a train to Manchester.
Well, I saw
London.
the parcel. Let's discuss that made it into the Bloody Express as well.
Tashi, I don't know if you saw this,
God,
but
hilarious.
You're in the presence of a fucking press icon.
They were really scrambling for news that day.
It was real. It was quite literally breaking news. Oh,
very
come on.
good.
Thank you.
Come
Thank
on.
you.
She's back in the room.
So basically I put on Twitter. So 13 hours in A&E. I don't know if I mentioned that.
And let's discuss, new listeners, follow Lee on Insta, follow me as well, obviously, but you share a lot. You share all your bits and bobs, the good and the bad.
I do. I'm a bit of an oversharer, and
so we knew what hour we were on, in A&E. We knew.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I could have done the live during that. I should
We
have.
should have. We should have.
Very annoying people who are in A&E. I'm not gonna lie. Jesus.
You would have been fuming as well. It wouldn't have been that funny, I don't think.
No. Well, so I put it on my Twitter and was just like, oh, this is awful, blah, 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 blah. This has happened. And, a few people had replied to it. And TV's Lorraine Kelly.
Of course.
Sends
a well
the icon that is Lorraine Kelly.
Just get a dustpan and brush. We might need it for all his names he's about to drop.
Just quote tweets me and she's like, Lee, I hope you're okay. Love heart emoji. That's it,
Sweet.
That's all she needs to do.
Yeah. That's all the Express needs as well. By the looks of that article.
Lorraine Kelly sends message of support to ITV colleague after he breaks his nose in Manchester and stuff like that. Well, there's a full-on article. I'm not going to lie. At points, I thought, this is like I've written it, because they were very complimentary over me.
They were very complimentary. And like you said, the only bit, because you scroll in to get to the quote from Lorraine, and then it's that one tweet. And I'm like, you've written a whole fucking article over this.
Yeah. They've gone on my Instagram story.
Yeah.
They've taken everything. The ITV star sent support to her colleague after he cracked my face open. Lorraine Kelly, 62, sent a sweet message of support to loose women warm-up artist Lee Peart, 32, over Twitter on Sunday. Lee had an eventful Saturday, sharing on Twitter, full-on slipped on a spillage last night in Manchester.
Did you write it?
The next day, this is the funny one. The next day, the comedian reassured his fans that he was back home. I'm like, what?
I loved it when it said fans.
Then, there's a photo of me and Lorraine, like underneath each other. Lorraine Kelly was one of the many famous faces sending support.
They've also picked a picture of her, I thought, that looks like she's rushing to the hospital. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, she's jumped out the taxi. She's rushing in to make sure you're all right.
Lorraine's like, Lee, where are you? She came rushing into the ward. Lee?
Yeah.
Lee.
That's just a picture of her, like, going for a pedicure. You know what I mean? They've just put it in there.
Anyway, countless people shared messages of support and similar stories of cracked faces to Lee. I'm like, well, I didn't fucking see him. Like, a few people replied, bless them, actually. It was very nice. If you did send me a message, thank you so much. It's very kind.
Those two people that shared those.
Then it mentions the Yasmin care package. Oh, this was my favourite bit. However, he was clearly on the mend as he was zoomed back to his comedic antics on social media. That's when I thought, they're going to fucking think I've got a PR person.
They will.
To sort this out for me.
Oh my God. I think they're a fab lifer. Get him, because they do have to do a deep dive stalking. If you're that Express writer, DM us.
Yeah.
We've got lots more stories. We can throw him down the stairs on the way out.
So it's the Express, it's the Daily Mail.
What's next?
Oh, the Guardian I've been in. What's next?
Oh my God.
Nuts magazine.
They're out of business, babe.
Oh, I'll bring it back.
Bring it back. But it'd be very different. It's where that doctor checks your ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just me and Jake Quickenden.
The centrefold is where you finally see two together.
We shouldn't laugh. It was checking for testicular cancer.
Yeah, it's Movember. Is it Movember? Yeah, it is.
Anyway.
So in the Express, oh my God, ever so thrilled.
Hilarious.
You know, every cloud really does have a silver lining.
Yeah, I know. Someone in the comments had put, gosh, did he think he should get special treatment just because he knew Lorraine Kelly? I wanted to reply saying, yes, actually.
Yeah, I did actually. Also, like
100%.
me and Freddie were laughing at the one person that like trolled you and was like, they make enough money, they should go private.
I know, I'm like, I don't make enough money.
I know. Terrible.
Yeah.
If you did, you'd be on the front cover of the Daily Mail. You won't be in the Express online.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I did, I'd be going to bars that didn't have spillages left, right and centre.
Who were you with and what did they do? Because it must have been quite graphic with the blood and stuff.
It was. So I slipped on... Well, I'm suing, by the way. I'm suing.
Because everyone thought you were drunk. I was with Sandra, avid listener, and she was straight in there like, oh, was you shit-faced, not knowing how bad.
Well, one thing I will say is, and I'm sure you'll vouch for me for this, I'm not a faller-overer drunk.
No, me neither.
I'm not.
Me
I don't
neither.
stumble around.
Yeah.
So I had a few drinks. I'm not going to deny that. But it was so slippery. It was like spilt gel. It was some sort of spillage that we won't go into. And I slipped and hit my knee. And then as I got back up, I full on went again. And so it was like violently
So that's
slipping.
how you were really near the floor. And then
Yeah. But if I was drunk, I actually wouldn't be as annoyed as I am about it.
Because you'd be like, can you believe this happened to
I got
me
drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually...
Oh, you must have been in agony, man.
Oh, well, it hurt. It hurt a lot. And then it was like... The worst was when he said you need to go to A&E. And that you just know is going to be
Did they have
ages.
someone there who was like a bit of a medic? You know, could help?
Yeah. So they cleaned it up and stuff and took me in the back. But and I was going, no, please, I don't want to go to A&E. It's fine. And it was like dripping. But I lived to tell the tale. And thank God I didn't smash my teeth in.
Oh God, that's one of my. I had a teeth fears the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my biggest fears that like someone hits me and all my teeth fall out, or like there's a crack in one and then I pull it and then it just pulls them all out.
Yeah.
The worst. But anywho, I mean, moving on up. Tell me what's your silver lining off the back of this? Because you've had to cancel a couple of gigs, haven't you?
I've had to cancel a couple of gigs. What's the silver lining?
Yeah,
I don't
what have you got to look forward? Well, the Express. I mean, that was the immediate.
I mean, is that a silver lining?
You might be trending on TikTok from this very day.
Maybe, but been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
Got
Old
the,
news.
Got the viral.
Yeah, got the viral.
I'd quite like to not have a broken nose, and I just want. So the stitches are coming off tomorrow. Launch.
Are they?
Yeah. I've got to go to the walk-in centre tomorrow, which will probably take another 13 hours.
Oh God, that's so quick though.
Yeah, he said 5 days. So.
Oh jeez. Well, there you go.
But what about you, Lauren? I hear you've been gallivanting around town.
I have been gallivanting around town. I've seen 2 shows since I last saw you. 3 shows.
3 shows.
Oh my gosh. Well, I went to watch My Sons Are Queer by Rob Madge.
Oh, we've got to talk about it.
It
Wait,
was.
I haven't discussed it with you, have I?
No, we haven't, because it was the day after we last recorded.
Right.
So we said we would save it up. Just incredible. Just a bit of everything.
Did you cry?
Cried.
Oh, I sobbed.
I cried. It was the bit when they got the yellow dress for me. Yeah, I mean, I would say no spoilers, but it's not on.
Well,
it might
it'll
come back.
It'll come back. So for anyone listening or anyone watching who doesn't know, there is a show called My Sons Are Queer, But What Can You Do? By the glorious Rob Madge, who is a bit of a social media sensation.
Yeah.
They were kind of going through lockdown and they...
A lot of musical iterations on their Twitter and stuff. About, like, The Queue was like the more recent one.
Yeah, and they've been in West End shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's kind of like an autobiographical show about their upbringing and basically about how you should just kind of uplift children and let them be themselves. And oh my God, it tugged at my heartstrings. I was a wreck.
I was an absolute mess. But then you're like laughing and then you're like, and then, just the lovely family that they had around
Yeah.
them was just like amazing. Also, they're in Panto.
Yeah, the Palladium.
So
Massive.
We said we were going to go watching that.
We have
so
to go. We have to go.
Because imagine the costumes.
Oh,
Because
unreal.
the costumes are insane anyway.
Yeah.
But, if it comes back, we'll do a shout out on the pod to get everyone to go watch because that's amazing. So watch that first. Lovely little show. Hadn't watched anything in the Garrick, I don't think, before. So nice to see a new theatre.
Oh, how lovely.
Lovely to see a new theatre.
How lovely to see it in
Yes,
Garrett.
and then I went to watch From Here to Eternity
Right,
at
yes.
Charing Cross Theatre.
With Adam Rees-Charles.
With Adam Rees-Charles, yeah. He is playing the Burt Lancaster character out of the movie version, which is very old, from the 50s or whatever. And that's good, but it's a bit more true to the book. The songs are good, but it's the only thing is, I mean, it was just amazing. The voices in it were just incredible. Like the whole cast, you're all so talented, and the choreography was amazing. And I've never been to the Charing Cross Theatre before, actually. I have for a drink, but not to watch anything, because it's small and like you're in the round. It's great. But it is a load of white men on stage. That's the only downside of that story generally. You know what I mean? But it's a Tim Rice has done the songs, so you do leave like wanting to be able to be the main part and stuff.
I'm like that even when I leave Tesco. Just leave wanting to be the main part.
Whatever song's been on the tannoy, you're like,
Every little house.
that's right, guys, follow me. And then lastly, I went to watch. This is the big one. I had a few DMs from some Fab Lifers because it's just their crowd, right? It's just like their vibe. This ABBA Voyage. ABBA Voyage.
ABBA Voyage.
With my mother. So Freddie bought me that.
I didn't know you were going there. I don't think you'd mentioned it.
I think maybe I mentioned it like in passing. I got it for my birthday back in July.
Right.
And Freddie was like, oh, well, I know we weren't going to do presents really this year, just something small, but I got you these. And I was like, oh my God. And he was like, and I'm not going. It's your mum. Your mum's.
He was delighted.
He was absolutely chuffed. So Sandra was loving it.
Oh my God. I
got her a quadruple vodka.
Oh my
diet.
God. She should have been stacking it on the floor.
I know. Well, she's got a bit of a bad knee actually, so we were on the dance floor bit.
Her and me both.
And she was just like dancing, but like without moving.
So there's
her feet.
a dance floor?
Well, let me explain
what's it like? Set the
Let
scene.
me explain it. So they've built this purpose-built arena, and it looks like it's for the Olympics, but it has ABBA in like rainbow lettering on the outside, by Pudding Mill Lane, Stratford.
Yes, I knew it was around
Yeah.
there.
And they've nailed it because like it is a build it and they will come kind of situation. So in the small DLR station, there's an official merch shop. I have merch as well. I'll put pictures of me in it on the gram. And
Ooh, can't wait.
can't wait. Just if you're wondering on sizes, if you're going, you can see what's up for grabs there.
I think the Instagram just crashed. People waiting.
Oh my God,
See
we've got
Lauren
a blue
in
tick.
the merch
We've
from
got a blue
the
tick.
DLR.
But then also across from that, they've built like a mini like box park situation with bars in.
Great.
So it's all people 40s all the way through to the 70s dressed as ABBA.
Of course it is.
Getting absolutely shit-faced.
I love it. Love it
everyone
for
is
them.
hammered. And then you
Living
go,
their best lives.
living their best life, honestly. And then you go in and you're waiting for a while actually for them to come on, like as if they're really coming on. You know, a bit like
for them to flick the switch.
turn on. Yeah.
What? No, please don't tell me they're like, they're getting changed. There's a wardrobe malfunction of the
They do
hologram.
mention a costume change at one point. So you go in and it's like a bit of a theatre. It's just a classic theatre setup, so it's a lot smaller than an actual arena. But you go on the dance floor, which is best because like everyone is dancing by the end. Like you look round.
But you can't not dance to ABBA.
Oh my God.
I think if people say they don't like ABBA, I'm like, it's a slight red flag.
I do, because it's like you don't know how to let go, do you?
Let's unpick that.
Let's unpick that. Therapists are like, yeah, I can't see you anymore. I don't think there's any hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to watch ABBA Voyage and it's so good.
And so what do the holograms look like?
So the holograms, it's a bit of a head fuck actually because the band is live.
Right.
So you listen to live music and the band are amazing and like mostly women as well. It's so good. And then you've got the actual holograms on the stage and it takes you a while to realise that it's not a person in a suit because they're moving like they would move. But there's big screens, like when you're at a gig and then you have like them and then you have the screens. But the ones on the screens look a bit like Sims.
Oh, right. Come on, Schneller.
Come on, schneller. Dig, dig. Yeah. Ooh, what's the one by Werner or whatever? I actually, slight tangent, saw some Sims hoodies the other day with the green emblem on.
Oh, love it.
And I was like, we should get them.
We should, but I'd never wear it.
But me neither. Neither of us wear hoodies. Anyway, so they look a bit like Sims, is the unfortunate thing.
Right.
But when you actually look at the holograms, it's like or whatever the fuck the technology is. But then they also do all these amazing things where like all the screens come round and they like tell a story and like, but there's no screens there.
Right.
So I just don't know how they do it. It's all like lights, and so for every different song there's like a different light in, and like the screens are different, and like they come out and do a costume change and then they talk. They go, oh, well, you know, we're just going to go and do a costume change. Here's the band. And then the band come out and do one and you're like, costume change? It's like they're just going like this on the robot, like. But then also my mum was like, she couldn't quite get over it after. She was like, am I even here? She was like, if they weren't there, she was like,
Oh, God.
what even happened?
She gets philosophical.
Yeah, she was like, I think I'm traumatized over this. Because the one thing, maybe a spoiler alert, turn off for the next 20 seconds if you don't want to know. But right at the end, they go like, thank you. And they like, you like a gig and you're like, bye. And you're really chuffed and you've had a great time and everyone's hammered at that point. And then they go off. But then modern day ABBA, because they look like they did in the 70s on the holograms.
Right.
And then modern day ABBA come on.
Right, as a hologram, yeah.
But then you go, oh, but they're actually here. So then you think they've turned up, but they haven't. It's still not them.
So it does look like like real people.
Because on the video at that point, that actually happened on the premiere night, and they hologrammed it.
Yeah, right, okay.
So the screens, you're looking at actual footage, but they're doing exactly what the footage is doing. So then you're really like, oh my God, oh no, that's still not them. It's really weird to get your head around it for a long time.
Right.
And then you can hang out in the bar after and buy merch and get pissed. It's fucking great.
So the hologram is what they looked like when they were younger.
Yeah.
But how did they record that?
Well, they wore those like Andy Serkis gold suits.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they did it because they're like, women are doing choreography at one point, but obviously then their arms wouldn't be doing the exact same thing. And like even the like wisps of hair like move in the breeze and shit.
Well, they should have talked to you, shouldn't they? With your wisp of hair.
Wisps. With my wisps. Honestly, it's so weird. But they are hot on the recording. You're not like
I thought you were going to say they are hot.
They are hot. The women look so hot. I want to get one of my mates to make one of the velour items shot on. It's so good. But yeah, they're hot on like nicking your phone if you record something. They like barge through. Have you ever seen that when you're at a gig and you're not allowed to record something? They're like, give me your phone, and they take the phone off them. I'm like,
What was that?
what was that?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my God, it's ABBA.
I don't know what it was, but
we're fine.
Oh no, it was my
Just your phone.
my camera. Sorry, we're live. Rowetta, you can tell it's live. I've had that at the Lion King once. In the West
It's
End.
mad.
Someone,
They proper wrestled this like older dude who was hammered.
Yeah, there was someone recording in front of me, and the usher was just like shining a light in their eye, like a laser pen. Do you remember those laser ones? And I was like, and it was kind of catching me at points, and it just wasn't working.
No.
And in the end, I was like, just,
No.
go up to them. Instead, she was like laser. She may as well have got a fucking spud gun.
Yeah.
And been like, oi.
Just chucked a pot of ice cream at him.
What happened to those? Like, you remember those laser pens? And if you
Well,
shine
didn't they say they
it
were
in
like-
someone's eye, it would blind them.
Yeah, that's what you got told. Or like, weren't kids like shining them up to airplanes to try and like distract? Hasn't that happened before? Try and like crash a plane or something. Do they go that far?
What
Probably
about,
not.
do you ever have one of those aliens that you used to try?
They never grew.
Yeah.
They never grew.
You did everything. You'd put them in the freezer, you put them in the microwave.
And then you'd get impatient to be like, still not pregnant,
Yeah.
or whatever it was trying
Yeah,
to
they
do.
were meant to have babies.
Yeah,
They never did.
That was such a crock of shit.
Such a crack of shit.
I loved a Tamagotchi though. That was the one thing.
Did love a
and if
Tama.
someone didn't have a real one, you'd be like, "What's that? A Mamagotchi or something?" You'd be like,
Oh,
"It's not the
right.
legit,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
TM trademarked." That's all.
And Pokemon cards. Did you ever do them?
I never really got fully into Pokemon
No.
cards. That was one of the things that got like banned at school because everyone was like too
Yeah.
into it.
I
Like
remember
Pogs.
once they used to ban everything at school, and then I wasn't really ever that bothered about stuff. And then one time they banned handstands, and I was like, it's gone too far.
Because someone kicked someone else in the face. It was normally that, wasn't it?
They were like,
someone got a nosebleed.
Yeah. And they were like, handstands are banned. And that was the first time I became an activist. I was like, we must fight for our rights to stand on our hands.
I am political. I am running for the opposition.
I was literally like that. And then one time I used to get a bit sassy. I know it's hard to believe.
Oh.
And our dinner ladies used to say to us, go stand on the wall. Did you ever have that? Stand on the wall.
Yeah, and you'd be like, I'm getting on, you told me to stand on it.
Yeah, so I used to get on like my feet and put my feet on the wall and then like do, and then she'd be like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, I'm standing on the wall like you told me. Oh, God.
And then they can't do anything, can you? Because
Yeah,
you're
I'm like,
I'm following instructions, babes. Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, we've not talked about it.
What?
I'm a celeb.
Oh.
Have you been watching?
Do you know what? I've been
I'm
watching
a bit behind. I'm a bit
I
behind.
don't catch up on it. I watched last night, but I was kind of like on my phone as I was watching it.
Yeah.
I'm not loving it, I have to say.
not.
And I can't stand how Matt Hancock is becoming this kind of almost likable character.
He shouldn't have been, like, the only reason it's, like, going to be really good this year is, well, like, get the viewers, is because Matt Hancock is in it. Oh, my God, I felt like I said his name really wrong then. I was like, Matt Hancock.
What? When you say someone's name and you're like, that's not the name, but it is the
Yeah.
name. I do that on stage all the time.
Do you? Oh,
when
God.
if I'm emceeing, I'll look at their names loads. And I never like to have it like written on my hand or anything.
Yeah.
I just think that looks wank. And
Wank.
and I often, my head will say this is not their name.
Yeah.
So it'll be coming up and it'll be like, Lauren Crane, for
Yeah.
example. And I'll be going, Lauren Crane. And it'll be going, it's not the name, it's not the name.
Yeah.
And
Get
then
it in
there
your
are
head.
times that it takes over me so much that I worry that I'm going to say the wrong name. So what I've done before is rather than saying Lauren Crane, I'm like, start the applause, go wild and crazy, keep it going, let me hear you, and please welcome Lauren Crane. Like, and I've done it before where I've kind of made the noise of the name, but
Yeah.
like if it doesn't sound right, it's almost like, we can't
Shit.
hear.
And then they were like, someone better check on him. I think he's just having a stroke. Like, he was thinking that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Matt Hancock. Sounds weird. Yeah, he shouldn't have gone in there. I don't think.
No.
He's a politician.
Did you
They're
see
all
that
like
someone-
kind of facing up to him though, aren't they?
Someone flew over. Well, this is the thing though, because his PR will be loving that, because then they can be like, he's being bullied.
Because he
and
can
there's- they'll feel
show what
sorry for
a real
him.
person.
Yeah.
Oh God, he makes me feel sick. He's going to do every challenge as well.
He
What was
didn't
the
do the
challenge
one
he
last
did?
night. He didn't get voted because he's been very good at all the challenges.
That's
And-
boring.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be
So
really
if you were
shit.
in I'm a Celeb, what would you struggle with?
I would give it a good go for the eating one, but the only
Oh.
thing is, like, once I get my head into like that, I don't like something, I'd struggle to eat it. So I'd
Right.
have to like imagine it was chocolate or something. I'm not
Right,
very
right,
good at
right.
like downing stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But I couldn't do spiders.
What
That is
about you,
it.
Tashi? Tashi, our producer.
What would be your?
What would you struggle with if you were in the I'm a Celeb jungle?
In the last episode, you were talking about kangaroo foreskin.
Oh yeah, kangaroo
I think I would
foreskin.
have an issue with that.
Yeah, sure. That sounds very reasonable, actually. Yeah.
were we
I'd
talking
forgotten
about
about because we were on about food 101.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I'd have an issue with that as well.
I'd rather do the food.
I'd have an
than-
issue with
than
anyone
the
who wouldn't
creepy
have an
crawlies.
issue with it.
People are like, oh, it's a great source of protein.
Yeah.
All the
No,
time.
I actually like the sound of a kangaroo foreskin.
Might have been an omelette.
Oh.
Oh no.
Um,
Yeah, no, I'm not. I just couldn't do the creepy crawlies. I'd like the first episode when. Do you know who I love? Eileen. Out of Corrie.
yeah.
I don't know her real name. What's her name?
Sue.
Sue. Of
Oh,
course it's
I need
Sue.
to tell the story about when Craig, my friend.
Tell us about Sue.
When Craig, my friend, worked at Harvey Nichols, and
just
this was in
French.
Manchester. So
Yeah.
I used to work at Tesco, Deansgate, and Harvey Nichols was just across the way, and we always used to see Helen Worth, otherwise known as Gail Platt.
Oh my God, yeah, of course.
She's always around Manchester shopping. She's an iconic.
She's like, what? Did you want a selfie? No. Oh,
she
no, you weren't talking
loves
to me.
it. And she always used to come in at Tesco, and she was always pottering around Harvey Nichols.
Pottering, yeah.
So obviously Harvey Nichols is a very, luxury store. You're trained to, be professional at all times. And Craig sees Helen Worth, Gail Platt, walk in.
I wouldn't know her full name, me.
So he's there and he's like, oh my God. Because she's iconic.
She's Corrie royalty.
Yeah.
She's sort royalty.
And he worked at Mulberry at the time. So she's going around the Mulberry bags.
Oh,
and she's looking at the bags. And then she picks up this Mulberry bag.
Yeah.
And and she turns to Craig. And she goes, this is very heavy. And he goes, well, it should be. It is 995, Gail. And then as he said Gail, he went, and then she looked at him and smiled. And then he said he ran away. It is 995, Gail.
Come on now, Gail.
She must get it all the time.
She must.
But he was going like, don't mention it, And then she caught him off guard by like being like, oh, this is heavy.
Being like
it should
normal.
be. It's 995, Gail.
Oh, Gail. Oh, I'd do the same.
Would
Don't
you?
tell you, I think I've told this story on the pod before. When watching Into the Woods with my friend in Highgate years ago when we were students, and it was in that theatre pub in Highgate. Really good production, blah blah blah. Who walks in but Les Dennis?
Oh.
And my friend who I was with, he was like on the row behind us. And he was scooching through, and we were kind of stood up, it's the interval, and you're like making room. And she goes, hiya, you all right? And then she turns around and she's like, oh my God, I don't know him. It's like, it's Les Dennis. And he just went, hiya, yeah. Because he's just used to it, because she just said hello because she recognised.
Yeah.
But she was immediately mortified and wouldn't turn around.
Oh my God. Well, I did that. I was in Soho House and...
Clang.
And you can never not sound like a wanker when you're saying that. But opposite me with this blonde woman, and I was with a friend, and I went, oh God. I know that girl. I said, I know that girl, and I don't know where from, and she's going to see me. And she's going to
say hi, Lee.
She's going to say hi, and I'm not going to remember where she's from. Oh, God, where's she from? Where do I know her from? My friend, turned, and he was like, that's Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons. What's the name? I forgot her name. And I went, oh, God, yes, it is, and I don't know her. But
you were mortified.
I was worried that she was going to come up to me, and I'd be like, where do I know you from?
She's like, the teller?
You do, because you recognise them.
Yeah, the part of your life. That means
that's how I live my life now. After being in the Daily Express, people come up to me and go, are you Lorraine Kelly's friend? I go, I am.
I know. Do you know what? Next time I'm going private. I'm going private. All right, don't worry about me taking up the NHS's time. I'm going private, guys. I'm too big for this now.
Oh, don't make me laugh. My stitches will come out.
They won't. You're 5 days in. You're fine.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's been a bit of a catch-up episode. We're due a guest. And we're trying to make it work. So we're definitely going to have to get a guest before Christmas.
Yeah, maybe DM us who you'd like, or I'll put a post out and you can tag them.
Yes.
Let's bully someone into coming in.
Yeah. Peer pressure.
Let's get Gail Platt on.
Oh, Helen Worth.
Imagine.
That should be great. She'd be a great guest.
She would. That life she's lived on, Corrie. She's seen it all.
And then we have we should do a festive episode. I think we're going to do that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because Christmas is a-coming. I'm not going to lie.
It's a-coming.
It's nearly a month away.
Yeah, and we might have to have a week off then, but what we will do then is do a legit live.
Yes, yeah.
I'll ask
Let's
you.
just stop promising things for them.
Because we don't remember it anyway.
No. And I don't think people care.
Oh, they do. They do care. Don't take that away from me, Lee.
Oh, sorry, I've just literally slurped my drink into the microphone, so that's a bit of ASMR for anyone if they'd like some.
Ooh, I'll just crop that bit.
Thank you for all your messages of support and love.
They're so great. And we're over 100 reviews now on Apple Podcasts. So, keep going.
We are.
The only way is up, guys.
The only way is up. What's the next milestone?
They get better and better every time.
I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah, great. Let's get back in the Japan podcast charts.
Oh, wow.
A girl can dream.
Only if only.
It's coming our way, babes. Don't worry about it.
Until then, do everything. Subscribe. Do your
Follow
bits.
us.
We'll get a guest on the way, and slide into Lauren's DMs and take the piss if you like. And we'll be back next week with episode 38. But until then, this has been episode 37 of Fab Life
With Lauren and Lee.
I keep looking at that camera.